ladies and gents. Hope you're having a good day. I don't normally pop on and do 2 videos, but I feel like this is something that God was highlighting right now, so I wanted to hop on and tell you guys a quick story about how eagles operate, okay? A lot of you guys have heard my story about how eagles are representative of us a lot of the time with how they approach their love lives, which is a really, really cool other live that I will do for another time, but I don't really want to focus on that one today. But the Bible compares and it talks to us a lot about several scriptures concerning eagles. And so I've been fascinated with the life of eagles in the wild, just because there's so many cool correlations that we can take away from it. And so let me tell you guys a little bit about how mama and baby eagles interact when it's time for those baby eagles to get out of the nest and fly. So here's the deal. When babies are first born, mom creates this beautiful, stable, sturdy nest for the babies, and she takes care of their every need. They can cuddle up next to mom, stay nice and warm. She comes and she brings them food on a regular basis, and she nurtures those little babies until they get to a certain age. And then she changes her strategy. She'll start to just fly and hover over the nest because she wants to set an example for those babies, and she says, this is what you're destined to do. You were never destined to stay stationary and just comfortable in this little nest that I've built you. You were destined for such bigger and greater things. You were ultimately meant to fly. But the process is very uncomfortable for those baby eagles because it really is taking them out of their comfort zone. So here's what mommy eagle begins to do with those babies. She'll begin to nudge them with her little face, and she'll begin to push them a little bit towards the outside of the nest, and that's not comfy. You know, before they're used to snuggling up next to mom, and she won't come with food the next time. She'll just come and she'll be nudging them a little bit. And so she'll begin this process, and then she'll actually begin deconstructing the nest while the babies are still in it. Hello. She'll begin to slowly start to pull feathers out, slowly begin to pull twigs out of that nest. And the babies are like, what are you doing, mom? Like, this is our spot. You're tearing it apart. What's going on? And so all of a sudden that mother kind of isn't quite that comforting figure as much. She's nudging them. She's saying, you were meant to fly. And she's prompting them, it's time to get out of the nest. It's time to spread your wings and to go to the next level. And so eventually little babies are prompted to go out of the nest. And so what happens is they actually fall. A lot of the times they don't really know how to fly their first time out of that nest, okay? And so it's scary because they are just taking a tragic fall. Imagine they're on a cliff or something towards their fate at the bottom where they will die, right? Okay. And so baby eagles, can you imagine like just screaming and like, I'm gonna die. And what happens is mama eagle lets him experience that feeling, but then she swoops in at the last minute and she catches that baby eagle and she leads him back up to safety. And so this process continues while the baby eagles get stronger, and eventually they learn how to fly those wind currents and how to ride those. They learn how to use their wings. Their wings are strengthened to the place where they can then fly on their own. Now that process is very uncomfortable for the baby eagles, and it's probably hard on the mom, honestly, to watch at times too, because she sees the panic that hits those baby eagles when they're being, you know, kind of prompted and nudged to get out of that nest. It's an uncomfortable season, you know, when we're being stretched into that newness. Amen. And so how symbolic of what God does with us in our personal lives. Have you guys thought about this before? God, a lot of the time, is like that eagle. He goes, you were not meant to live on milk forever. You were not meant to stay in a place of being a baby Christian for the rest of your life. And so he'll take care of us. When we first get saved, you know, he'll just really cater to our every need. But eventually he goes, you know, bigger blessings require us to have greater character and greater strength behind our walk in order for us to be able to steward them. And God said, I never intended for you to stay on the same level where you cannot receive more from me over your personal life. And so what he will do is he will begin to make us a little bit uncomfortable. Have you guys noticed this before in your personal life? I definitely have noticed this in certain seasons of my life, where God will begin to kind of nudge us like that mother eagle. And instead of just being in our comfort zone 24/7, he'll say, you need to take a step out. And a lot of times we'll want to run back to the nest because it's comfortable. We had every need taken care of. And a lot of times, unless God were to nudge us and to kind of force us forward a little bit, we would just stay stay in the nest our whole lives. We would never operate in what God had truly called us to, and we would never activate our faith. Those baby eagles falling off of that cliff from that nest when they don't know how to fly yet, that's faith. But they have such trust in that mama eagle that they're going to be caught. And she does catch them, you guys, that while they're learning and beginning this process of flying, they're willing to take a few chances at their mom's prompting because they know the character of that mama eagle. They know that mama eagle is there to take care of them and to protect them and to keep them safe. And, as Christians, a lot of time, God doesn't want us to trust in our own ability. He doesn't want us to trust in our own wings, quote unquote. He wants us to trust in him, if we compare him kind of to that mama eagle in our example. And he says, I don't want you to be afraid. When I prompt you to do something, I want you to go for it. And if you're not ready, I'm going to catch you. We're in this together. I think so often we try to operate in our own strength, and God goes, I've got you. I've so got you over this thing in your life. But we've got to be willing to be a little bit uncomfortable, to go to those next level blessings sometimes where we are called to soar, where we are called to go to that next level. And I think so often we don't receive the very best from the Lord because we tell him, no, God, I don't want to be uncomfortable. I don't want to learn how to lose my wings. I'm comfortable on this level. And so we don't receive those next level blessings because we're unwilling to hop out of the nest. Amen. So for a lot of you guys, this has been an uncomfortable season. Maybe you've lost your job. Maybe you've been dealing with sickness. Maybe you've been dealing with the loss of a loved one or a loss of a relationship or whatever's been going on, and it's just uncomfortable. Amen. We've all been through those seasons in our life. But I want to tell you guys, God can make something beautiful out of those things that the devil intended for your evil in your life. And a lot of times it's those harder seasons, those seasons that stretch us, those seasons where we're not just nuzzled up next to mom and being fed every little bit, where we actually learn to use our wings and where we learn to soar. Amen. Hope you guys have a great day. Don't give up on God, and I'll talk to you soon.